Right. Hello, hello. Sorry, the girl dropped her tablet. Just as just as it was ticking down, I was like, "Oh God." Ernest, I'm dying. There we go. Um, sorry, inside joke. Had to type a little bit into Discord there. Anyway, so quite the morning so far. Decent movement, but everything is retracing as we expected. Um, Neura's awake now. Um, year over year, CPI for the pound came in great. 2.1 was better than expected. I assumed that it was going to be there. I expected 1.92. 2.1 is a little bit better than expected, but I think it's good. CAD CPI, same thing, month over month. Again, not transient, getting higher. The trim was actually much higher than expected. And again, I think that's a good telltale sign. That takes out the most volatile. It's kind of a reading of how do you deal with. It's kind of almost like a bell curve, but it takes the you know 40% of the crazy out, right? There's crazy in everything, but it takes about 40% of the crazy out to get that number. And again, it was higher than they expected. So just shows you that like the normal goods out there, the lesser goods that don't see as inflation as much are also going higher. Now, we have crude oil inventories at 10:30 this morning. We'll cover oil. It's actually moving a bit now. You can see the API number came in quite a bit off, right? Just a bit outside. Forecast was -3, came in at -8.5. Now, does that mean that it's real? Not so much. Remember, this the API number is an industry-specific reading. It's kind of like, hey, do your best to report so it's accurate. Right? And then the EIA today is the one that is actually government kind of there's a government checker. There's a fact checker on it, right? This is kind of the we'll trust you to tell us the truth, and then the fact check one is later on today. But this is a huge miss, right? Huge miss. And so far, again, what we saw in the overnight was oil going up, and now this morning, since the U.S. trader has come online, is actually started to roll to the downside. So, that's what we have. Obviously, all eyes today are going to be on FOMC. I expect the morning to be flat. Maybe there's some whipsaw back and forth, but it's really going to be kind of an all eyes on kind of what they're going to say. And it's not so much the Fed funds rate. Obviously, the Fed funds rate is not changing. If it changed, then it's a 0.001% kind of miss today, which, again, I wouldn't bet my life on it or hold my breath even. It's just not changing. It's all about the economic projections. There has been a lot of mention this week about tapering, or like there's the taper tantrum is that people are talking about. And I think they have to. I mean, really, I don't know that there's really much that can justify it right now. With everything opening back up, earnings are all expected to be good. We saw the retail services number down, sales down a little bit, but it cycled all over services. Inflation, we're seeing it basically everywhere in the world. Every country that is, that has vaccines is seeing inflation and inflationary pressures. So, yeah, he's got to mention it, right? Today is the day. Like, if he doesn't save face today, that's it. The Fed has really just no power. They just become like a joke at this point. So, I'm actually interested to see what type of questions come out of the press conference. I highly doubt. Excuse me. I highly doubt everything will get covered. Man, that's after a cup and a half of coffee. Ugh. I have a game tonight too. I highly doubt he will cover everything in the economic projections. There's definitely going to be a reporter that wants to ask a really pointed question. Something that the news that can get, real juicy, right? Something juicy. And yeah, I think that'll come at 2:30 today. Besides that, that's really going to craft the end of the day. We'll see how much true movement we have until then. That 2:30 to 4 o'clock window, I'm sure will be quite volatile. There is, for the people that are trading with Nadex using Forex over there, remember that the daily contracts close at 3, not 5, because I don't know. I said it on the Nadex presentation today. It royally pisses me off that, like literally it's a 24-hour market. Their day closes at 5, but yet they close them at 3. And the only thing they've been able to tell me is, well, we have to prepare for the other contracts. It's like, that's bull. Close them at 5. That's when the day closes. It shouldn't be that difficult. I don't know. I just find it an excuse, and if they don't like it, tough. Then at 6:30 we have Macklin speaking again. That may be a way for us to kind of retrace some of the movement from the dollar. Then we have GDP in New Zealand tonight. Again, it could be another. It's a quarterly number, looks good. If we see a major kind of spike, actually, I guess a major drop in the New Zealand dollar, that'll give us the opportunity to jump over New Zealand dollar and be able to trade that one, right? Then tonight we have Governor Lowe speaking. You heard it again. My God, my wife must have swapped in the decaf coffee again. It tastes good, but I don't know. Then tonight we have the 9:30 unemployment and the unemployment rate and the employment change. Not expected to change too much versus what it was last time. Typically, when something like that is there, you tend to kind of see some movement, right? Australia had a very minor lockdown last month, so we'll see if that's going to affect too much. I don't think it's going to make that big of a change, but I do think it does provide the opportunity for us to have, potentially, that could be where we see a reversal of whatever happens earlier today. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what the Fed statement is. I don't have an advanced copy of the Fed statement. They don't give me that stuff. I'm not quite at that level there yet, guys. I don't have inside people that have inside people, right? I wish, but I do not. But the 5:30 tonight. I would normally say that'd be a great trader, but I don't know. It depends on how much movement we have from FOMC. Going to tomorrow morning early, we do have the monetary policy assessment, right, from the Swiss. So I hate to say this, but there may be some good Swiss movement in the overnight, particularly if we get a dollar that spikes today. Um, we start to see this. We may see something with the Swiss. So in the overnight, especially at the European Open, check out the dollar Swissy. It's there. I know not everybody trades it. The Swiss yen is also one that you could trade. Um, we don't cover it on the channel here because there's only so much time, but the Swiss yen is another one that you could trade. And actually, let me see. Let me check it real quick. Why I have it here. On a weekly basis, we are extremely high in the curve on that one. Daily wise, we're near a zone. Let me see here. Hold on. I'm looking at it real fast. Let me see if there's anything worth. Sure. No, there's no sell areas. 4 hour. Oh, there is a big 1 hour. So yeah, the Swiss yen is kind of in the middle of two big areas, at least on the hourly. So yeah, there could be something by tomorrow morning. Again, the yen will move based off of the dollar today. So yeah, there could be something in that one, and they're decent levels. That's all before, and then again, unemployment claims and Philly Fed manufacturing index. I think tomorrow morning everybody will just be digesting everything that they said today. Still, um, sorry, I have the windows open, so maybe that's what it is. That's why I'm yawning and sneezing here because the allergies are crazy. Although I will say, our cicada count is down. I have the window open right now, and you guys can't really hear the diesel trucks. So I feel like the cicadas are on the way out. I feel like 17 years until they're back. I'm not going to miss them. The carcasses are everywhere, but it's not quite loud outside today. As far as news goes, European Union added us to the safe list. Okay, great, lovely. I don't think that's necessarily a big market mover. Biden and Putin meet in Geneva. I read an article earlier today that they said that this is, I guess, the relations right now is the worst that it's been in decades. Is what the headline was talking about. And again, not necessarily surprising, but there's been some pretty interesting comments back and forth about how, I'll let you do the research on it. But it doesn't surprise me whatsoever. I kind of expected this is what the case was going to be. The writing was on the wall. If people couldn't see the writing on the wall, I can't help you. I'm never going to change your mind. Besides that, really nothing else going on. China is releasing some reserves of copper, aluminum, zinc near term. That again, doesn't necessarily affect us too much. And then again, we'd have the obviously Fed talk. That's it. And then actually, there's one thing that I will bring up too. The central bank digital currencies. China is almost the first mover. So like China is right there. They're leading it. I'm pretty sure that they will be the first. But again, they have a trial right now where they're giving out digital yuan. They're giving it out in, I forget what city it is, but they're giving out a bunch. Like it's kind of like a lottery. You can get a bunch of it. You can try it out, see how it feels. I feel like the way that they are setting up this kind of in-house trial, people are going to love it. I mean, if you get free money, what are you doing with it? You're spending it. I mean, although in that culture they're more savers, they're wanting to try it out. They're going to give it to people. They're going to spend it. China's going to say it's the greatest thing since sliced bread ever, and then they're going to be the world leaders. So we'll see if that motivates other people to kind of pick up the speed a little bit, for lack of a better word. The answer is hopefully, right? Hopefully. And then once you have these central bank digital currencies out, look for the big regulation of cryptos. Okay. I think it's coming. It's coming. I don't care what Elon is saying. There's a guy out there that says by the end of next year that Bitcoin is going to be up at $250,000. Right, the end of next year. I was like, I just don't know. I mean, I guess like a lot of these smaller countries are trying to do anything to stay relevant. They're like, oh, we'll take Bitcoin. We'll take Bitcoin here, right? They're trying to capture the people that have Bitcoin, but it's one of those things that oh, we're going to use Bitcoin instead. It's okay, but what happens? Those countries that are accepting Bitcoin, when you have the larger countries that say, yeah, you cannot use Bitcoin for transactions here. So they basically just said, okay, well, you can't purchase it, so you need to find something else. So they're going to have to transfer it back into something else anyway, because it's just not universally accepted. Nobody's given up that much control, right? There's no such thing as a world currency. It's not how it works. Um, so yeah, we'll see where they go with it. And it's like tiny countries like Tanzania and stuff like that. Anyway, let's go over to the charts. There's oil ahead on this morning. So let's start with the Aussies. All right, so let me get out of the 15-minute charts. That is for the indices. And there we go. So I think Aussie's in an interesting place. This is obviously going to be a mover. Inflation, obviously, gold is the proxy for inflation. Or I'm sorry, Aussie dollar is the proxy for gold, which is the hedge for inflation. We're seeing inflation. The Fed says it's not important. It's going to all disappear, right? Prices are going to go down. You guys, a year from now, you guys definitely won't be paying $5 a gallon of gas. It's going to be back down to like 2, right? Never, right? It'll be 4.50 next year to 5. Biden wants to ruin the economy just to get the clean stuff, right? Granted, the batteries that we can't recycle that are bad also, and the green, the fan blades that are also polluting the environment and all the other stuff out there. Hey, don't get me wrong. I want to save the planet, but I think the way that you're doing it is that the way that it's being done is purely for political headlines, and that is it. So again, will we see it, the movement in this pair today? Most likely, probably, right? Couple of different areas we've talked out. The best two are the 77. Here, I'll move it across. The 77.90 is kind of. I like these two as my top and bottom. Now, these are 30-minute levels. Are they going to hold for something like FOMC? Probably not. Like I said, the extreme range on the top side, I think we're good. If we spike up into that level, that's about 86 pips. That is a decent rollover area. There's two smaller zones if we can get to either of these levels before the news comes out. And again, I don't see us getting up here. We could potentially get to the 77.27 one level, right? That is only about 22 pips away. So if we start to get any dollar weakness in there in preparation, that could be a great area to take a short off of. I also like the 76.54, and like I said, that one is currently about 50 pips down. That would be a lot of movement before FOMC. FOMC has the power to jump 50 with like an instantaneous move. I would only take this zone if we got a decent bounce off of it. I wouldn't take it as a first hit trying to, snipe this one on the bottom side. Because if it comes down and there's a little bit of a pullback, that's where you can kind of, see the next drop. And I'd want a kind of a smaller established level of risk on it. I just think this one has the power to really kind of get funky, right? And just crash to the downside. But those are my levels, again, that I'm looking for. None of them are, big 4-hour levels or anything. They're smaller levels. But again, it's been really kind of traveling back and forth between the 77.90 and the 76.54. Aussie yen. So Aussie yen, we had a level up top at 85.06. We're unable to get up to it. You'll see this has really done nothing in 24 hours as well. We were sitting right here. We had one drop and we pulled back and we're just a little bit down from where we were. Again, seeing some yen strength come in there. This is one that I wouldn't play with FOMC necessarily. This is a play for tonight. And again, depending on what the reaction is from FOMC, if this brings this down or brings it up, whoops, not that one, or brings it up, I think either of those two levels are decent for the Aussie release. I'm kind of leaning more towards this section over here, right? I would prefer if we come down and then take the bounce higher this way. I think that's a better play, and then we go right back into the same level. But vice versa, I mean, again, if we spike up, then we could also potentially take this rollover back to the downside. And remember, for the spike up, there are 2 levels here. Actually, there's 3 levels, right? The yellow one, it's kind of the one that is the most aggressive. And again, depending on what time we end up getting there, if we get there before or if we need to spike up there, I think either 3 of those is a potential short area, whether 85.06, 85.19, or 85.36. All 3 are decent, right? All 3 are decent to be able to take this rollover back to the downside, okay? But ideally, I would like to see this come down and then have that Aussie data come in and then have us explode higher, okay? That is kind of my preferred setup for that one. Looking at the the euro pound. So we had pushed up a little bit, and then obviously the news today drove us back down again. We're still skirting right in the same kind of area of interest level. FOMC won't really affect us too much. Just kind of one of those things. But 86.39 and 85.40 are kind of my 2 levels. You can see in 24 hours, this one's down 23, but not necessarily the best of movement, right? I mean, the European session was here. We got the news down, and then we just kind of dropped, and that's it. It was only a spike of about 22. That's all the movement in 24 hours is that 22 pips, and then now we're kind of flat. Look, flat, one rally up, flat, boom, and now we're flat again. So again, Buyers coming in right below that area as well. So I just don't think it's a great setup right now for the euro pound. If you wanted to try to put some type of a squeeze position on, yeah, you could try to do that. I don't know how much premium will carry over. Actually, let me look at it real quick. Forex euro pound. Mm, 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 Eh, yeah, there's 23. Eh, there's not quite enough premium to be playing, that squeeze on that one. Um, it's close. It's close. I'm using a 3 a.m. daily right now, so I could get in before the news tomorrow, or before the open. Hmm. I'd like to get a little bit more on the top side. It's a little bit in. The market doesn't think it's going to move that much either. But yeah, it's all right. Anyway, I would say if we can get something in this range, but at this point we're kind of skirting right down the middle, so we needed to move a bit more for euro pound. We may see movement, maybe a bit tomorrow. I'm sorry, it's Wednesday. Maybe tomorrow morning that the Swiss will help move it a little bit. Mackenzie Scott is giving away another 2.74 billion. Am I on the list? Is he giving me some billions? Sorry, she. Hmm. I have an organization. If you want to give me a couple billion, I'll take it. Just give me a couple million. I'll take it for free. I love news articles like that. Let's go across to euro yen. So euro yen, we talked about this. We had this set up on there. We had a level of basing. You can see it dropped it, it pulled back and grabbed it. It's been about 2/3 of the way through. We were looking for it to go a little bit farther. This is a 1 to 3 4 right now. The 1 to 3 is sitting right there. So it needs to go a bit more in there. To the downside. Not surprised by this one. We were looking for the retracement to the downside, so it's moving, it's slowing. You're obviously up, over 2 to 1 at this point, so you wouldn't, again, this trade shouldn't cost you a penny at this point. Your stop loss is a break even. You probably already actually kind of moved your stop loss down and kind of protected it a bit more, so you can worst case scenario. You're only making a couple pips on it, but again, it's not costing you anything. And again, this is one of those ones with it driving down to here, being this close, you may have wanted to put a really, really tight stop on it, knowing that we had the U.S. Open here, and maybe it took you out. Maybe you got a 1 to 2 out of it. If you did, great. It wasn't a huge mover. This is just something minor, right? You're talking about a 20 pip grab on it. Love to tell you that you got a lot more out of it, but I mean, the reality is right now you're not seeing. I mean, even the pound yen, which is the bigger mover, is only 3 pips difference, right? So everything is flattening out for FOMC. Would I use that level again? No, probably not. It's a decent level. I mean, it's okay with the fact that you're seeing the basing come in here, right? And then right at this level here, you're seeing a bit of a turn. Although I like the green versus the red being kind of the pullback point. So it did what it was kind of supposed to do. I don't know. I think at this point, wait till it goes back up to an extreme. We talked about profit taking at 32.99 or basically 133. This level kind of pushing through was the yellow area. 133.76 and 132.56 are still the best two options we have for top and bottom. But you can see we're back in the kind of the no man's land, right? I mean, it peaked in, went all the way back down, came right back up again, and has dropped back down. So, again, I'd still be looking for this for 133. It's only 18 more pips, but you should be able to kind of hit this one. Okay. Your dollar. All right. So your dollar. So your dollar this is flying -7 pips in 24 hours. Obviously, this is going to be one of the most popular pairs today to be able to trade. The volatility in this one is it's probably jacked already. Let me see. I want to look at call spreads and see where we are call spread wise. 7 to 3. All right. All right. So, oh, it helps when I'm on the right position. I'm like, wait, those numbers don't match up. There we go. All right. So, euro dollar. If you believe in this dollar strength coming into the market, although it is early, right? Although it is early, there is a 7 to 3 call spread. It's got 5 hours and 4 minutes to go. It's got $12 worth of risk in it. $12. Okay. Does the euro dollar have the potential to go absolutely insane? Yes. Okay, so there is $12 risk to take that one to the downside. There just also happens to be one on the top side that is $12 worth of risk. So the question is, do you believe, and again, I wanted to draw this on there so I know it's 12 in both directions, basically from where we are now. Yeah, from where we are now. So it's 12 pips. Let's see. 12 pips would put me right there. Oh, that's good. That's perfect. All right. So, all right. There's my 12. Let me measure it. 12. Perfect. Let's copy and paste it. Let's take this to the downside. All right. So, there is your breakout with call spreads. About $24 worth of risk, right? About $24 worth of risk total. Big question is, do you think today with FOMC we're going to have more movement than 24 pips is the question. Now, it's not a binary, right? It's not a binary. And let me see. I'll actually do it with binaries. Let's check it over there too. I'd be shocked if it'd be 2160. Yeah, 2160 is all the way up here. So to try to get the same level of risk on this one, you got 2160. Downside, where are we at? 2080. Down there. So there would be your binaries. And again, if it went past, you'd make 100, right? Well, you'd make, with it being at about 15, you'd make, what, 85? Minus what you cost you on the other side. So you'd make, what, 60? I'm sorry, 70? Right? If we closed above those two. So there's kind of the setup today. And again, while I say that, you're making 60 in there, but again, what's more likely? Again, once you move in either direction, we're kind of golden either way, right? So I don't know, kind of your call for that one. But I do feel that this one will get more movement. I do like this one on the downside. There are ways to play this. I do think the break of 129.91 brings us all the way down. That is a move of about 80. If you look right now at the daily ATR, and again, daily ATRs are important, particularly for news releases. We're at basically 60 pips. It's 58.8, right? So figure 1.5 times is what it can move for this news release, right? So you're talking about what, 90 pips? $90 would be here. So that is what we can move for the day, right? That would be a FOMC kind of major comment, right? And even if we just take it down to 60, which I think is about there. Yeah, 60. That's kind of what FOMC should do wherever FOMC pops. So you can go up, you can go down. And like I said, these two are worthwhile if you have them at, expiration. And there's only an hour. There's only an hour. And they said, we'll see where it is. But there you go. Just a little cheapy entry there, right? All right. And you're just going to see the levels on top. All right. So pound yen. So pound yen, we got pretty close. And again, this one I would expect it to continue. The news was great. I think it will go a little bit farther. There's a decent level up here. And again, do we take a rollover point there at 155? It's not bad. It is in the upper third. Again, this one could be driven down by the U.S. news today. So I think that is, hold on one second. All right, I had 2 coffee mugs. One was old. I want to make sure I got the right one. I like that one for short. Longs, I'm not going to mess with the longs down here. This is a level that I'm not really super interested in as well, but I think 154.30, 155.41, top and bottom are both good. This has rather small risk, and again, you may say, well, what is the pound yen? Well, why would we trade that one? Again, the yen. It's basically trading it through a proxy, right? And again, we had a quick spike up and a pullback again for the pound. Nothing crazy. Again, the extreme range right now is going to be up here at the 155.93. So that's your pound yen. And like I say, is it really trending right now? Not so much, right? Not so much. But I think the yen will give us a little bit of a help today. We will see some movement. So pound dollar. All right, so yesterday we had talked about whether coming down or going higher. Here was the CPI data. It was a jump. I mean, it was decent. It pulled up and it kind of pulled back and is now stuck at that same level of sellers. We're really hoping to be up here before the release. Obviously, it's not going to happen. So right now, you're looking at it more for an after. If we can get something like this where we go up with a big green, right? That's an ugly green. Let's go to this green. Yeah, it's fine. If we have like a big up, I'd say the 141.87 is a decent level to look for reversals. There is a knockout up here at 142.16. And again, it's a level that, it's been hit a few times. It's not completely fresh. You got one touch, two touches, three touches. This is technically touch four, although it's been a very strong area. And again, this is that kind of yellow kind of area of interest that we were looking at before. There is a level just a bit higher that's only been touched once. So it's kind of a level on top of a level at the 41. The second one starts at 41.95. And we do have a knockout. So again, with a spike up and kind of a falter, there could be a knockout here, and this would help us kind of bypass the um, really kind of the expiration for Nadex. So again, something up, maybe maybe we get a little spike higher and then we base. Maybe look for something along those lines. I would like to get short the dollar yen or the pound dollar before the news comes out today. I do think that is probably the best case scenario. Um, and the reason why is because, again, I do feel that they are going to have to mention something about tapering or starting to control inflation or starting to look at inflation. Once they acknowledge inflation, I feel that it's a very strong dollar type play. Could I be disappointed? Sure. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like if they keep, blowing it out, blowing it, just completely ignoring it, I feel like that's going to be an issue. And I highly doubt our prices are going to drop, right? Um, I just feel that that's the oil industry, right? If people are cool paying almost $4 a gallon for gas, why the heck would they lower that down, right? People are just starting to travel again. People are like, we've been cooped up for a year. We're going everywhere. We're doing family road trip. We're doing this. We're doing that. That's open up again. We're going to drive more here. I feel like the demand is going to return. And why, if we're cool paying this with low demand, why the heck would they? You guys are going to use more gas? Sure, take it on sale. It's just not going to happen. It's going to continue to go up. And like I said, being green is more important than correctly stimulating an economy, right? Um, so we'll see. But I'd look to get short this one again. I'd really like to be higher if we're sitting at this level here, kind of where we're at right now. You know, I'm okay using that level. And again, this green level here is more of a projection for a target right now than anything else. But I can see this one. I mean, potentially. Let's see, how much is it? Yeah, it's 133 pips. We could probably come back in this range pretty easy with a move down. About a 90 pip mover, right? If we're here when the news comes out, right there, that could definitely be kind of where we're going. All right, and I'm gonna move this one over just a little bit. There we go. All right, like I said, with a spike up coming back down. All right, dollar CAD. All right, so dollar CAD's high. So we talked about this level yesterday. This 2190. This is the one that Ernest pointed out. He liked it a lot. And it went down to about a 1 to 1, 1.5, and then kind of spiked higher and stayed in that zone and then kind of dropped back down again and then kind of has now just gone sideways. Um, I think, and again, we had great CAD data today. I mean, like this is good for the Canadian dollar. They've already started their tapering, right? This thing should have went through the roof. But again, this is a strong on strong thing here, right? This is strong on strong crime, right? It's hard to say that, it's like, oh, it's great news for the CAD. Be like, but why did it do this? I don't understand it. It kind of went up. The dollar, the dollar data will always trump CAD data, right? And while it is wonderful that they are seeing inflation, that they could potentially raise an interest rate, all eyes in this pair will be basically based off of the dollar. Now, the question is, are you going to mess with the zone? It's been hit here, went hit again, and it's kind of, there's a small level of reestablished risk in here, but big question is, can we go long out of this level? Let's do a horizontal line. Horizontal line there. I would say we got one little hiccup level right there. And then after that, we should be clear all the way up. So let's move all the way across again. All right. So, let's see. How many pips are we talking here? About 40 pips. 10 probably encompasses that. 10 is there, which is actually, that's more than I would, that's actually not bad at all. So let's see. 30 should be there. Let's see. Yep, there's my 10. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Something along those lines. Actually, I'm going to use a different color for this one. There you go. That's kind of what's going for. The reason I didn't use the risk and reward tools because I wanted to be able to go over it without all the stuff popping up so we could get a little bit better of a view of it. So if we break through the top, and again, I'm not nice in a short, it's a break of 122.03. Looking for that one to go up. Yeah, that's right around 30. It looks like we have about 38. So yeah, that's a decent one, right? So again, a break of above, you can maybe even potentially take this long from that point. I think is probably decent to the top side. Okay. As far as going short, it's kind of one of those ones. We do have the Harry Potter down here still, right? We got a Harry Potter that we were talking about down here. Whoops. Oh, just give me the. I hate how it goes behind sometimes. Like I need like a go backward function. Is there a go backward function? No. It's like I want the price label in the front. Anyway, so I would say that we have one long coming out the top there. Change that so we can see it a little bit better. And then again, coming to the short side, there's a bit of a racetrack here that you could potentially play as well. It's about 25 pips, about 27 pips. I just think it'll happen so fast, it's going to be hard to snag, and I don't want you guys to get stuck in chop. But I do think there's a level right here that we can, obviously take over to the downside. Okay. It again. Do you want to be if you want to get short before? I think if anything, if you wanted to get short before the news release, that's probably not bad. But remember, the dollar CAD is not my favorite currency pair to play at Nadex because of the strike widths. They think it's like the Aussie yen or like the pound yen or something. It's not that big of a mover, but they feel like it is. So I don't know. Dollar Swiss. So I mentioned earlier there's a dollar Swiss trade in here. We really need some help from the dollar first, right? So we really need this one to go up or down. Like we really, we need some help. It's got 50 up, 60 down, absolutely in the wheelhouse for a good FOMC meeting. And again, it could be just something that trends in the overnight. But remember, the news release tomorrow morning is at 3:30. 3:30, and the press conference is at 4. I think that's an easy short, long, either direction. Let's see. 3 is right there. It's a little bit more than 3, but that is okay. I'm all right with that. Right there. Fine. There's your top and bottom either way. But right now we're skirting right down the middle. It's like bowling, just not really a tradable variety or entity right now. But again, at FOMC should spike us up or down. Looking at Japanese yen. So we got the short down here. It's slowly retracing back again. You could have got into this and it was an early morning trade, right? It's been decent movement. About 30 pips, you'd be out right now as it's retracing, and it kind of should have went a little bit lower, but is what it is. I think dollar yen, pound yen are better opportunities right now. Even the Aussie yen is a better opportunity than this one, so I'm kind of going to avoid this. What? What? You don't want to go in here? You want to go outside still? Okay, Daddy's almost done. She hears the So I have the window open, and my neighbor is getting a new roof put on. So she keeps hearing the noises from the neighbor. And I think it freaks her out. He was standing on the roof yesterday, and she like freaked out. She's like, "Oh my god, why is he on the roof?" So I think she's like, "No, I don't want to see that man. Like he's not gonna fall, I promise." Yeah, she's like looking. She's looking for him now. She's like, "Where is he?" All right. So again, be cautious with dollar yen. Let's go across and let's look at the indices. And again, this is showing at 0.0 right now. 0.01, it's flying. It's flat. It's not going to move. I think 42.56, 42.24 to the downside. I would say if this starts to get bad really, really fast and it gets ugly, I mean, if we get a break of the lower side of this, I think 41.95 is definitely on the radar. I don't see much move happening until FOMC. And like I said, if it's a completely dovish statement about we predicted this, we knew that we're going to have this inflation, this is much less inflation than we thought it was, right? I think the indices, they spike, they go up. If they talk about how this is more inflation than we expected, or they kind of justify kind of the inflation that we're getting and say that, and the other thing is, I think if they put a target, originally they told us June was going to be the day, right? June is where we'll start seeing it, be transient, right? If they say that, they're on the line, right? If they make a big comment like that, I feel like, you know, I feel like more than anything today, the indices are at risk to go down. I think if for the right scenario for them to go higher, it's going to have to be like a really like, nah, we know everything, right? I just don't feel that they've given the market enough confidence or the public enough confidence to be able to justify that, hey, it's going to move, it's not going to move. But I think if anything, maybe handle this the same exact way. Maybe we bring it down to a 15 minutes, see if we can get really, really defined risk. I would not be trading this in futures. So for you futures traders out there, I would not be trading this in futures because this thing will literally spike from here up or from here down with just a couple different words difference of what he says. The big question is going to be is how much, I mean, I'll look at it real quick, but how much is this going to be jacked up, right? Let me see. Let's see the dailies. What do we got for the dailies? Wow, that one's a little bit off. That one's off. Yeah. 109. Yeah, these are already jacked. I was looking at like a daily call spread. Right, daily call spread. So the call spread itself starts at 42.40, right? The indicative value is 42.36, right? It's already $76 worth of risk. So we are out of the money by what? 4 points? Yeah, 3.75, right? 3.25, right? Now it's pushing down a little bit. It's going to 4. $76 worth of risk. So yeah, there's a bunch of premium spiked into these already. This is probably going to be a binary type scenario. Let's see S&P. Let's go to the dailies and see what we got over here. Let's see. So there is one that's about $12 worth of risk right now. Sitting. Let's see. How can I mark this today? Is this a signpost? I don't remember. What did I just say? 14? I'll say there's a 14 right there. Oh, I see what the signpost was. I don't like that as much. I'm trying to see if there was one of these that I'd liked as far as the note. Do I want to do the note? What did I say? 14? There's your 12. Let's see on the top side. 42.56, which I don't think there's a chance in hell of getting up there. Oh, right there. So there's the indices kind of top or bottom, kind of bracketed in for something that would be like super cheap. That's $12. There's one that are a little bit that are not like 15 is at 20. Right? There's another one here for about 20 bucks. I'd say 42, yeah, 42.20. Right there. Oops, not 290. That's about 20. Probably better than the call spreads. The call spreads seem like they're pretty crazy. So yeah, you'll be able to check it out on the shorter duration binaries. These are dailies. You should be able to catch it on the shorters, whereas we get closer. Okay. But yeah, I mean that's not a lot of movement. I can see that definitely jumping. You can see it does that in an hour. So yeah. All right, NQ. Also, look at this. NQ finally jumped. So that's decent analysis. And there was a small level there. So this one really took off right again. This went up, and again, this probably stopped some people out in this room, right? This was a level at the open at 9:15 on the 15-minute chart, and it continued to punch through. So this is nice that it's rallying higher. I don't know if it can keep up this pace. Maybe it can continue to go higher. This is not and nothing I'm worried about. I'd say we are kind of in a racetrack. And again, if we can get up to here for that release, I think that's decent, right? Um, it's we talked about how much it can move and it's going in the opposite direction. So this is all decent, right? Good. Get higher. That sets us up more for that kind of reversal to the downside. And again, they're slightly positive right now. But I think 14 141.50 is a decent sell level. But again, it's a small level. It's been touched twice. It's descending. Is FOMC going to stop that? No, it's not going to stop it. So I would say look to see where we've driven before news, and then again, you can play a potential reversal if you want, but keep your risk very, very low. Don't trade this in futures. YM, kind of the same thing. YM is just bouncing back and forth. You can see YM has nothing, right? ES is nothing. YM is nothing. NQ is the one that was like not even kind of really whipsawing, and then it was off to the races suddenly. And again, I wonder if that has to do with Tesla's at 600 again. Oh, Apple's up a bit too. You can see that same area of interest. We've bounced it all the way through. So not a whole lot in here. And again, I would not use this area of interest. We've hit it. We didn't get a pullback to it. So we could probably just, we can use it now. I think probably there. I think that's a decent one. And there's a knockout sitting right there. I don't need this anymore. This I can pull across. Kind of looking more for that one's out. So we can take this off. There we go. You know what? I don't need it that big. Let's go back down 2. There we go. So we do have a racetrack below that. That's a lot of movement, though. 478. Ugh. Okay, the worst part about this is we can look at this and be like, holy crap, that's almost 500 points to the downside. We technically can drop that, or damn near close. It may be a little bit extreme, but that's the next time that we really have any decent buyers coming in on an hourly situation. I guess there's a little wick over wick. Let me check it on 30-minute before I say that. Yeah, it's still wick over hit here. Maybe a little bit higher. Maybe we pull there just to be on the safe side. Still 420. Could we drop 420 points? Yeah. Yeah. It could. It could. I don't know. That's a lot, though. That's asking a lot. We got to go through a small level here. So even if we cut the difference in half, say we cut the difference in half for that 200, like 215 would be there. It's possible. It's possible. Ooh, I didn't want to move that. There we go. Actually, why do I have that there? I have that there for a reason. I don't remember. Let's pull it off. Yeah, YM's another one. YM will be more affected by this as well. Again, obviously more manufacturing and that kind of stuff. Now, I will say, if for some odd reason we do get that spike because they say something that is considered so dovish, we do have those 2 knockouts up top. So again, with a spike forward, actually, let me check that before I said because I'm pretty sure we put these back on. I just want to make sure that they are still there. Where is it? Let's see. Yeah, 300 we're not worried about. 400, 500, 600. Yeah, 400, 500, and then there is another one. Technically here. And again, that one is okay. Yeah. So we'll see where this one is by the time, By the time the news comes out, let's see how much movement we have. It's 10:30 right now. We should probably get a bit of a reversal, although it's been straight down. If we start to get a rally back up and we're sitting in this level, I would say that I'm still more bearish on this one. But again, if we get any type of spike up into really either of these levels, this one's all right. This one's kind of in the middle, so it's not ideal, although it was a decent push down from there. I mean, ideally, if we could run up from now till then, right before FOMC into here, that would be great. Um, but I just don't know if we're going to get that much movement. But again, I'd be looking to go down. And again, projections down here at 33,723. Looking at oil. So there's the day for oil. I mean, here's the European session start. We dropped and went and reset. And then the US session came on and we dropped and we've kind of almost come all the way back again. It's down slightly. It's down, 30 cents. Oil inventory report is coming out in 9 minutes. Let's see on a 5 minute. Has it stabilized really? Nah, not so much. I mean, we had a little bit of stabilization up top around that 10-10-15 for a short play, and that kind of makes sense. Let's see if they've adjusted they adjusted it all. They're still holding 2.1. Um, Let me see how much they have jacked into this one. Yeah, it's already moved a bit from the open. 230. That's not going to work. Let's see the 9 to 11. 72.25. There is a short there. All right. There is a 72.25 right now. So again, I like how this is kind of going lower. Oh, it's going to start moving on me. It was about $17 risk to go up. And again, not the best stabilization on this one. I mean, there's about 30-cent drop already. We've got 7 minutes. Yeah, there's a $17 one going higher. The one thing that has me concerned on this one is I'm not really concerned about this -2, right? I like where we are on the top side. I like how this has kind of put in new areas and it's made attempts and been pushed down pretty violently, both at the kind of the U.S. Open and then again here was the UK Open was down, US session was down, really trying to force us down when big money came into the market. The thing that has me worried though is again 2.1 is not a big deal, but and again they were a little bit off, right? -3, but this is almost 3 times higher. The last time we had an imbalance like this where it's 3 times higher, the EIA number was 5 times higher, which would put us at a -10. If we're at -10 for this, I feel like we're getting an oil spike to the top side. And again, right now at $17 worth of risk up, that's not necessarily the worst trade. I mean, if you think about it, $17 is high. Let's see, how much would I have to move for the commodities right now? 67. It would be up here. It's a bit more of a move. Yeah, I mean, there's a binary sitting 67 right there as well. And all it would have to do is this is about $17 risk as well. All it would have to do is to touch this level, and you can get your almost 3-to-1 out of it. Oh, is this going to be our hold? Is this our hold? Hold on, let me see. It is. It's starting to hold. And we would need movement to here. All right, so there's a couple different options on that one, but yeah, that's the kind of hold we like. That is the kind of hold we like. All right, let's go to gold. Oh, this is so ugly. Look at this. Right? The candles are melting. You see the icicles on the 1 minute? Look, they're icicles melting. Right? Even on the 5 minute. They're icicles, right? Todd calls this melting down or melting up. I forget what Todd calls it. It's something like that. I'm like, what? Never heard that before. So gold is still a little bit confused. And again, not surprising. I was really hoping we'd push down to here, and we're just not there. Um, Man, if gold would just pick a trend. Ugh. So we got news coming in. Oops. So that's where we have news coming in at. I just wanted to use that one again. Um, Ideally, I'd like if we can get this to grind down in the next couple of hours. I'd like to get long at 1846. Let me see. Is there anything down there? Gold. There's an 1843 knockout there that if we can get down in the remote area, that's decent. Again, we kind of need to push down. Let me see call spread wise. Um, problem with problem with this one is the daily contracts close at 1:30, right? News comes out at 2. Hmm. I think knockouts is going to be the best way to do it. Unfortunately, I mean, I guess we have weeklies. Do we want to look at a weekly in there? Problem with a weekly. Well, maybe a weekly is not horrible. 79. Where's 79 at? 79 is sitting right there. Hmm. I don't know. It's hard to look at the prices right now because again, the prices are based off of it down here. We got to see kind of when this gets closer. So in like 2 hours, um, like 3 hours from now, like 1:30ish time frame, kind of see where we're at. And then again, look at the contracts. It looks like we're gonna have to go weekly on this one. It's gonna be weekly or there's no call spreads. It's gonna be weekly or knockouts. It's basically pretty much the only thing we can do on this one. So, I mean, yeah, there's nothing else on that one. Look, it's just ugh, just ugly. It's like give us more. I think gold traders are confused. It's like, man, they just keep saying it's transient. And yesterday I saw an article that said the experts in the field believe it's going to be transient as well. I don't know. I'm obviously not an expert. I don't believe it's transient. I think it's here to stay. I don't know why they would just suddenly make us pay less money for things. Um, put it this way: will the purchasers pay less as the supply lines are open back up again? Absolutely. But are they going to suddenly start selling it to us for a cheaper rate? No. No, that's my opinion on it. I think inflation is here to stay. Once you use the prices, there's no reason to drop them lower. Silver. So silver's got a bit more movement. You can see it's up 0.4% today, but also kind of the same scenario. Pretty hairy in there. And again, we keep going back to this 27.57. We touched it again and bounced today. Um, I think the two best levels are the 26.63. I think that the 28.63 could be a potential spike up target today. If when that news comes out, could we get one of these? Sure, we could. I think that's more probable than us turning and rolling back down to the 27.18 level. I'm assuming this 28.16 will get sliced through again. It's been touched a few times. It's more of kind of an area of interest. That's why it's colored. And again, you can see this one here, same thing. Boom, 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 boom. And that's what we're kind of having issues with now. I think once it clears here, if we can push up and kind of start pulling back beforehand, I think that could be our launching area. And maybe it's if you want to set it up to where it's a break of 27.92. Let me see Nadex wise. I don't think. What was that? Commodity silver. No, there's nothing remotely close. There's a couple. I mean, no, nothing even remotely close. Yeah, unfortunately, there's nothing. No, no, nothing close. Yeah, I'd like to say if we can get through the 27.92, go along with this one. I'm assuming this level gets blown through. We come up. That's my prediction is that we either hit or break through the 28.63 today. Um, Just how I feel about it. All right, let's see what crude oil is saying. As I said, let's check this out. Oh, I was close. Look, API was what? Almost 3. Bit more than 3. Almost 4. Almost 4. So not quite as bad, right? Not quite as bad, but that's quite a big difference, right, in those two. So, don't have the spike yet. That spiked a little bit. Yeah, we got a little bit up. We got a 25-cent spike right off the news. So we'll see how that one comes in, right? You're starting to see it up. And like I said, all it's got to do is go up top. So I expected it's going to be a much more muted day. I mean, like I said, this should raise it higher when they're like, holy crap, look, we have no oil. Look at this. We're down 7 million barrels. Yeah, so that should push up. Like I said, that was a rather small risk. There you go. They're seeing it move now. We're up 33, 36. So there you go. There was your stabilization. Right? There was your stabilization inside of a small time frame. And there's your pop. And again, we should go higher. I'd be surprised if this turns and rolls now. I think this will just continue to grow higher till the end of the day. So, all right. So that's it today. So then again, that's what we've been talking about as far as the stabilization, where price basically stops before news, and it's been about 10 minutes in a small level, which again was a decent level and provided that pop higher. Again, depending on how far you wanted to run with it, is up to you. Let's go ahead and do the drawing. I got 7 in. I got 10 tickets purchased right now, and we'll see how this one turns out. I'll give you guys about another 30 seconds to get into this one. In other news, the CAD yen is moving a little bit. I like that. The CAD yen movement there. I need the other one. All right, let's see. I have my. Do I want that one? I'll set this one up. Trying to set up my. Oh, I have to do it again. Crap. Yeah, I'm going to have to readjust it. All right, so let's go ahead and close it down. See who wins for the day. All right. Winner of today's drawing is, and Debbie won last time, I believe, right? I think it was Debbie last time. So Debbie's going for 100. Everybody else is going for 50. And the winner of today's drawing is Morena. Holy crap. Didn't Morena win last Wednesday too? And weren't we talking about how she's just coming in for Wednesdays to win now? I feel like she won last week too. Right? Wow. So I think it was Morena, Debbie, and then Morena again. Can you believe that? Man, you guys are slacking. Not like guys as in, you know what I mean. The boys in the room. The boys. Look, there you go, guys. Continuing to rise. So right now, so far since that news release, again, it's up 36, right? Continuing to move. Again, that binary is probably pretty decent right now. Let's see. That binary, where is it? Commodities. Oil, 9 to 11. And which one were we talking? It was the 65 or 67. Yeah, you're already up. You're up a decent amount on it. Not quite there yet, but it's in the range where it's getting ready to jump. So we got some time to go on that one. Actually, did I do it a daily? I may have done it with a bigger one, but we'll see. Anyway, so that's it for today. Like I said, the big ones is going to be this 2 o'clock time frame window. You guys got to really kind of see, guys and girls, obviously got to kind of really focus on, how to manage that risk, right? I see the NQ is rolling and flipping back to the downside as we speak right now. Let's go. NQ is not happy. It's not doing too bad. It's the 30-minute candle. Yeah, it's red. So NQ is running into some issues. Like I said, oil is still going strong. Apple is turned, and Tesla's back down again. Come on, Tesla 500. I'm still rooting for Tesla 500. I can't wait for there to be an article about that one. About how much money Nancy Pelosi's husband lost on all his calls. So, All right, with that said, guys, I'm out of here. If you need me, message me on Discord. That's it. If not, I'll catch you guys tomorrow morning. And I have to go prepare for graduation stuff for the boys. All right, you guys take care. Have a good one.